You don't fuck with no Elden Ring, no Marvel Rivals, no nothing? Woody, I like games, just as long as it's not any of that mainstream slop. What the hell do you be playing in your free time? Listen, Woody, I like respectable games like Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Devil May Cry. That's what brings peace to my soul. And you, my friend, like that overhyped gamer gunk you call peak. You want to see some real overhyped gamer gunk?
This party's getting crazy.
Hey peeps, it's LILMUCK, and today's agenda is a surprise animated entry to DMC nobody saw coming, and oh my, do people have things to say about it. Let me get this out the way. I've earned my stripes. I've played every DMC game out there. Not you though, sorry. And have studied this franchise quite a bit, which makes me qualified to give you an expert opinion on the show. So dim the lights and quiet the audience as I say, it's not bad. This is an insane backpedal for me because as I watched it, I did fairly enjoy it and even wanted to make a video saying how good it was. But after reading up on what other people were saying, it did hit me more and more that things were done in very poor taste and just didn't need to be said in a series as wacky as Devil May Cry. And this is what overall brought the whole product down. But let's figure out what we should talk about first. I know you wanted to hear the bad first. So Netflix DMC does something shocking for a game adaptation, which is keep the lore in check and have it tightly knit, thank God. Basically every key point needed for the third game to work is kept intact for this show to work. Bringing the example, Sparta's miraculous 1v12 billion clutch to divide hell and earth is here, his sword and the gem split for his sons is there, Dante and Lady, Mary, are in cahoots again, a lot of bosses from the games come out to play, Dante still maintains his commission-based demon hunting shtick, and look at him, he's having fun while fighting. Nods and dips of the games are tucked in everywhere, and I love all this. It's very refreshing to see how much was left untouched by this series. But besides that, I think it's a pretty entertaining show from start to finish, especially when we get to the combat. People say the animation is shaky, but personally I wasn't bothered, besides the CGI standing out too much. That was a little bit annoying. They got the fighting right for the most part. Dante does his shit here, and there's an acceptable level of how Mary can compete with these high-class demons, considering she's canonically fought Dante and has climbed Virgil's castle of doom all by herself without the dark calm training the show slapped on her. I think it was an interesting take on letting her be the shot caller and having some driving force for what happens in a plot, but more on that later. Dante's tag-along partner for the show was a sweet surprise, and when it comes to characters like him, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. I liked him, and he didn't annoy me because he was self-aware about his hijinks, and his payoff for being there in the end was stupid, but it did make me laugh, so I really don't care. Also, there's mixed opinions on Dante's Devil Trigger, and I swear that shit has never looked the same in every single Devil May Cry entry. I'll admit, it's a little too friendly of a design, even though they pasted off the 4th game. I think dropping the pupils and masking the face would have gone a much more longer way in making him look cooler. But I do like the setup for him obtaining it. Dante is clueless and chalks up all the stuff happening to him as some weird coincidence, so he doesn't think he's a demon. But the villain straight up tells him, "Big bro, yes you is, lock in or everybody on this plane gets clapped." And he ends up gaining his Devil Trigger and doing an Iron Man style rescue for everybody. Oh yeah, the villain. Out of all the criticisms for this show, this guy managed to dodge all of them for a good reason. His motives, his execution for his plan, his demeanor as the boss, and his obtainment of boss status all checks out. There really isn't no shortcuts with his character. Finally, there's episode 6. As controversial as it might be, I think it was really well done and very emotionally mature. I liked it, but let it be known that it will be talked about again. If you strictly want DMC Dante Wacky Pizza Man, I think the first 3 episodes and the last 2 will give you the most bang for your buck, and that's all I have to say about the good. Now remember, the show is only 8 episodes averaging like 25 minutes of substantial stuff each, so keep in mind that screen time feels more important than ever in the show, which leads us to the bad. To say the least, Netflix Devil May Cry uses its screen time interestingly. On one hand, you can appreciate the world building and character development, but on the other hand, it feels like we lose grasp of Dante being the main character. Now listen, every Devil May Cry fan understands that Dante has always been a character that gets stuck in between an already existing situation. He doesn't get off his ass unless he needs to pay the bills, so when he's called for an in-and-out job, it quickly escalates to him saving the world, and that's how it has always been, and it's even true for this show. But this is a Netflix show, so we're forced to build up the reasoning for the plot happening all around Dante instead of watching it unfold from his POV the entire time. I honestly didn't mind it too much because it's worth waiting for Dante to pop up. He's very entertaining, and in fact that's what it's like playing the 4th and 5th game because you don't get Dante action until like the second half. So is the other content we get that is focused on the human world good? Kinda not really. I want to make it clear that I understand that this show was dealt cards of needing characters with arcs and more crucial players to move the plot, and Dante don't be arcing all too much in the source material. The one time he had an arc, it went like this.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
What the hell?
So,
what we got instead was a story arc focused on Mary understanding that demons can be good people too, but getting to that point is pretty awkward. Mary is just way too edgy and annoyingly uptight, not just because she can't stop cursing, but because her hate boner for demons and stone cold attitude is such a huge contrast from her calm and collected tomboy get shit done vibe we know her for. Putting game knowledge aside, I still find her character to be alright and she does get stuff done, but her dialogue is just too corny. It's something you have to keep glossing over every time you hear it. Like, you really don't have to say fuck every sentence. Next up is Mr. VP Vice Presidente. I love a good leader character in his role. In recent memory, I think Cecil is a great portrayal of a guy that has a good compass but has to make morally great decisions for the better. Netflix makes this guy's compass so messed up it's almost cartoonish. And first he starts off as a character you can level with, but it spirals so fast into overly political religious stuff I don't even want to talk too much about. It's just way too loud for Devil May Cry, which is a series that's tackled this topic before. It's the main evil group in the fourth game, a religious group that is corrupted leaders who uses their religion as a vessel to forward evil plans for the betterment of humanity. But this show does it so poorly because of this dickhead. I'm sure if they just let him shut his mouth up for the majority of the show, it wouldn't be looked at so negatively. That's how annoying he is. A part of the show is trying to say know your enemy before attacking them, like some don't judge a book by its cover shit, but when this guy walks on screen, it's government bad, religion bad, and a certain name is dropped that makes the metaphors for the shit going on in this show so damn crazy. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that went over my head. Just way too loud for Devil May Cry. This was not a show that needed that, or at least it didn't have to be so on the nose. American Idiot is playing while they do this. Oh my god. Finally, let's get this out the way. In this show, Dante is nerfed. He gets beat down a lot, and I think it's most upsetting that Mary can hit him with a dollar store taser and fry his ass. But this is an annoyance coming in with video game knowledge, because honestly in the Netflix universe it kinda makes sense. In this Netflix universe, Dante has never fought demons of this caliber before, and Mary has spent her whole life training to fight demons, and then when you factor in her deception and appeal to Dante's laid-back nature, it makes sense how she caught him off guard. But let's settle down and talk about one last thing, which is back to that 6th episode. And I want to make this a separate section because this is probably the most bizarre episode in a series. Episode 6 drops everything that's going on and dedicates itself to a double overlapping flashback between our villain White Rabbit and Mary's origin story, and this is the most randomly bold thing I think a video game adaptation has ever done, leaving out what Arcane did. Episode 6 features 2 unique art styles for each character's respective world. It has little dialogue and leaves information fully show don't tell. As I was watching this, I couldn't even figure out if I was watching the same show or not. It's a very grimy, artistically inspired masterpiece that fully conveys why we should care for the villain and why Mary is so traumatized by demons. This feels like a short film that needs to be nominated for an award, and it's so jarring. DMC hasn't done something as profound as this before, and slap on 2 different art styles and a sympathy for the villain plot, and now you've got yourself the most what did I just watch experience of your life. It's so good, it's so heartbreaking, it's wonderful, and it just comes out of nowhere and accomplishes the point of having the vice president in the show by tenfold. Shit, we probably didn't even need Mary to talk as much if we were getting an episode like this. This episode is a huge PR boost for the show, and the only reason I said it was controversial was because that's how weirdly out of place this episode is, but damn is it good. So to close, ask yourself, is this something you want to watch? Personally, I think as a show on its own, it's a fine watch with an asterisk at the end. It's not laughably bad like some people are saying. I don't get that take at all unless you're talking about Mary's dialogue. Dante has his moments of character development, but they are small, and mainly you'll just see playful fun Dante the whole way through, which I'm always game for. Mr. Rabbit Man is now a character I'll always think of when I hear this show for good reasons, and the Vice President is a person I'll always think of when I hear this show for bad reasons. I think Season 1 1 is a solid first draft, and the show writers do understand a lot about the Devil May Cry games, but just took some insane liberties. So hopefully this video has inspired you to give it a watch, because truthfully it's something I want more people to see and talk about, so that way the show writers can pick up some notes and cook even harder on season 2, which I have a gut feeling is going to be 10 times better than the first. But here we are with it all said and done, and now as I wait for season 2, there's something else that has a 2 in it that I must finish. So peeps, join me in the next video as I finally complete Devil May Cry.
Probably gonna hit that don't save changes again. Used to write a song a day. It's just that lately my perfection's in the way of me, and I can't make no changes to save me.